On this episode of Beer, Blues, and BS, Kidder and I are back to having just the two of us. I know, we don't have a guest. There's no local geek. There's no JS. There's no rude boy Kyle. It's just Kidder and I. And what are we going to talk about? We're going to talk about some of the stuff we've been watching, some of the stuff that just arrived in the mail. I got a giant box over here. What's in it? I have a sneaking suspicion of what's inside of it, and I'm really excited about it. But you'll find out more. So, I mean, it's a great time. And, hey, I think you're going to like this episode. It's funny. Things happen. It's well worth watching all the way to the end because, I mean, there's something to do with Chedder Bay biscuits, and you're just going to have to find out. But don't worry. It's the end of the week. You're in a good place. Welcome to the show.
It's Howard Blues and V-Mark Kidder. Pour a cold beverage, pull up a seat, enjoy time with friends.
Triple B! Well, the Triple B sucks. Okay? Come on.
Whatever, man. This is Beer, Blues, and BS. Online at beerbluesbs.com.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Beer, Blues, and BS, the podcast that's caffeinated so that you don't have to be. I am your host, the living embodiment of Charlie Brown, Howard Blues, here, as always, with my co-host, the man, the myth, the legend. It's Mark Truckin' Kidder. Kidder, how you doing tonight?
Just don't think that's really going to work.
Listen, I gave it a shot, man. I even tried to put the extra oomph on it to sell it. Yeah.
Didn't really rev it up.
Listen, there's been a lot of stops, a lot of long hauling this week. It's, trying my best over here.
Yeah, you're just blowing smoke.
I'm trying, man. I'm exhausted.
Wheeling and dealing, man.
Always, gotta do a lot. Gotta travel, heading eastbound, down, all the good stuff.
Did you indeed load them up and truck them?
Well, as I said, got a long ways to go. And a short time for us to get there.
Just watch old Howard run.
Yeah, except I think really if we were smoking the Bandit, you'd end up being Bandit. I'm going to end up being Snowman.
Yep.
I don't get to be Bandit until the third movie. So. Oh, it's good to talk to you, Kidder. It's been a week. A lot of it I can't talk about, but it's been a week. I'm just glad to be back here on the Triple B, have some tasty brews, chat with you, and it's a great way to end the week.
Same. Here we are.
Yeah.
And that means we need a drink.
I was just about to say we should hop right into everybody's favorite segment of the show, and that is What's on Tap. Kidder, I'm going to hop in on this. I know I just said hop in. Gosh, I need to work on my word choice. I'm going to hop in because this is a beer that you gave me. You might have one in the fridge, so you might want to match. You might not. But I figured that would be the best way to go. This is from the Fat Fish Brewing Company. So still working through all the beers that Kidder brought back. But this is their double shot coffee stout. Yeah. 5.6% alcohol by volume. And again, not much for details. Have you tried this one yet, Kidder?
Nope.
All right. Well, let's I feel like it's a good night to give it a dive. Let's crack it open, give it a smell. Ooh. That smells nice and dark and chocolatey, man. A little bit of coffee smell.
When I saw this one, the first thing I thought of was actually JS because of the darkness and the coffee potential. But thinking about it, I know how you also like that sort of thing. So enjoy.
Yes, I think I will. Well, let's give it a taste. That is not bad.
Definitely coffee there.
Yeah, it's got a nice kind of bright espresso taste to it. Not too bitter. A little bit of bitterness, but not too bitter. But yeah, kind of on the smooth side. But definitely a dark beer. That's not bad, Kidder. That's not bad. I'd probably rate it about like 3.2. Seem to be battling your beer.
I'm not really battling it when I opened it just because of a little bit of the pressure difference. It splurted a little bit, just right. And if I, don't take care of it, my Fighting Sioux can Yeti, may rust.
Maybe
I don't know. Whatever. I don't want it to have any issues because this was, like $40. So,
no, listen. I know you. I know you like to keep your stuff pristine. So
best I can.
Yeah.
I was going to. What's that? Oh, driving. Yes, absolutely.
That's a joke from another show.
100%.
Anyway, you were going to say.
I was going to say a few things. Say a few words. There we go. I actually don't hate this. So there's that. The chocolate and the coffee is not too overpowering. And it balances well, I feel, for the dark beer that it is. And so I give them props for this.
Yeah, it really is. I think so far, probably my favorite of the Fat Fish Brewing Company that we've tried on the show.
Yeah.
So it's good. It's good. And, hey, I told my wife what I was having tonight, and she's like, oh, hope that doesn't keep you up. But Kidder, I've made a big life change this week. And that is I have stopped drinking kind of the energy drinks and soda that I have been living on for the last few years. I just stopped cold turkey on Wednesday. Just woke up, decided need to do some stuff for my own health, do some stuff for my own pocketbook. And so I just decided to quit. So I'm down to really just a cup of coffee in the morning for my caffeine. And so far, sticking with it, doing pretty well. I was going to say,
for you.
Well, thank you. I've done this a couple of times in my life where I've knocked off all of like the soda and coffee and all of that before. Truthfully, it's one of those things like this last round I only got back into when my son was born because a lot of sleepless nights, or at least rough nights, and you need it to get going. But my kids are starting to sleep through the night more consistently. I'm getting more sleep. So I don't need it. And, it's, as I said, a little bit easier on the old pocketbook, not purchasing that stuff. And again, there are some health benefits to it as well. Peter's nodding in agreement for the audio listeners.
Thanks. Good luck. I think if I stopped, I may just completely stop.
As I said, I've done it a couple of times, and the hardest part is usually right at the beginning, and it's dealing with, you can get headaches from lack of caffeine, and again, just kind of getting your body adjusted to that. But I've done it a couple of times now, so they kind of know what I'm in for. And I haven't had the caffeine headaches or anything like that. I'm, but I'm only 3 days in, so we'll see how it goes.
Good luck.
Well, thank you. You guys will get to probably hear a bit more as progress gets made on this, but yeah. Let's see. What else I got for news for you, Kidder? Kidder, I have declared war on the varmints in my backyard. I once again deployed those audio little spikes that I learned about from you. And damn it, I just kept watching these things run around them and just like not be bothered. So
interesting.
So I decided it's time. I got to fight back. I got to get these things out of my yard. They're tearing it up to all heavens. So I did what I've kind of been hesitant to do. I actually bought some traps because I haven't wanted to do that. I have 2 small kids, and so there's kind of this fear about you put this out there and a kid sticks their hand in it and gets their finger caught. And but my wife and I thought, we could do this. So we really drilled it into them that they are not supposed to go near these things, not to touch them, just leave them be. Keter, I've deployed 2. The one of them has yet to catch anything. The other one, for the last 3 nights, I've caught a mouse in it each time. So 3 little varmints gone. So it's at least a start. But
3 blind mice.
Well, yeah, they're blind now.
Yeah.
So we'll see. I still saw one.
Sleeping.
Yeah, I saw one out in my yard tonight. So we'll just keep at it. But yeah, I'm tired of these things. They're wrecking havoc on my yard, and I have to fight back. So, but I was surprised. These have been mice. We did think that they were voles originally, but I haven't caught a vole in it. So I wonder if I don't have just a mouse infestation in my yard. And so that might change what other things I can use to try and push them away. It's a fun. I never expected to have to deal with this living like in the city like I do. I'm not near a field. I think the nearest field is, like 2 blocks away, but I'm not really that close. So it's just amazing how many I've seen and I'm having to deal with. So,
well, I can tell you at my parents' place, middle of town, the cats catch mice all the time.
It's amazing. Yet, you sometimes just don't think that they would be that prevalent, but it was kind of shocking. But yeah, and I haven't had one in the house. Like, they haven't gotten in. They're just on the outside. So hopefully you can just keep catching them and doing that. So get my yard back in shape. So I also bought a new lawn tool, Kidder. Yeah.
Mower?
No, I had a mower. I bought, it's a combo leaf blower and leaf vacuum.
Oh, so it sucks and blows.
Yes. Mm-hmm. And mulches. You've been to my place. I have a bunch of flower beds and landscaped beds, and we get so many damn leaves in there. I decided that, you know what, for sucking all of that up and mulching it and throwing it, that's the way to go. Otherwise, you're sitting there on your hands and knees picking up individual leaves and throwing it in the can. So purchased one of those, and I haven't used it yet. My wife actually used it. She and Junior did that last weekend while I was mowing. They ran that around, and they were having fun sucking up the leaves. So it's good. Only thing I don't really like about it is that it's a corded one. So, I always have to then run extension cords if I move too far on my property, but It's saving on the whole cleanup. How's your yard doing?
Well, it is still being referred to as the golf course, apparently.
Can I get a tea time?
No, because you got to bring the tea.
I'll bring the tea and beer.
Okay. 20 minutes?
I meant for tomorrow. What do you got open tomorrow?
Probably 8:30 p.m.
Oh, I was gonna say I like to golf early. What you got at 6 a.m.?
Sleep. That's what. You could try, but you may run into the turret.
Oh, yeah, no. Wouldn't want to do that.
No. Shh. It's of course the turret that takes out weeds.
You have a
and
weed turret.
infestations. Yeah. Why not?
I mean, listen, I don't know what kind of fancy yard gadgets you guys have. That's one of those things. I know looking at my yard, I am really like, I haven't done it. I haven't run like a dethatcher through, but I think I'm going to have to next year. So, but I have to figure out like where to get a hold of one and all of that. So, if you have any recommendations out there, let Howard know.
Call somebody and pay them to do it.
That is a good call too.
That is the best solution.
Do you do that, Kidder? Was that
I have not. I self-aerated with the big pull behind one for the mower. Did that I think 2 years ago. Don't really think that my lawn needs that because it's basically sand right underneath the sliver of topsoil that was put on my yard. And so that's why I get some brown spots. Brown, it's not in spots, it's like a third of the yard. And why it can suck down water. So even though I've stretched out my watering when I have been doing it, I haven't even turned on the sprinklers this year.
I haven't either.
I'm kind of debating if I want to at all because it's money.
I was planning to at least turn mine on, make sure everything works. I don't know if I'll leave it on. I mean, we've been pretty lucky. We've been getting a lot of rain, so it's not like my lawn is looking dry whatsoever. But I still would rather kind of turn them on at least once, check to make sure everything's working and all of that. But we'll see. Also, I think it would be fun for the kids to run through all the sprinklers. So we'll see. I might do that this weekend after I mow. But yeah, that's been kind of my big thing. Right now, I'm lucky. It's dog testing weekend out at my parents' ranch, and they actually have. A couple of years ago, they had a litter of puppies, and everybody from that litter is coming back for this dog test this weekend. So they have like a bunch of people out at their place, and my dad needs some extra room to park things, so he brought in his dump trailer, and he's parked it at my place, and I am allowed to fill it with whatever I want, and he's going to haul it out. So I've been trimming up some trees, some dead branches, throwing those in there. Going to mow the lawn hopefully tomorrow. Throw the grass clippings in there. Yeah, gonna do some weeding. Throw that in there. It's all good. And then when he comes to haul it away, he's going to just haul all of it out to the ranch. put it in branches in his burn pile, and I think he's got a plan for the grass. So, but yeah, it's a good deal for me. I couldn't complain. He asked, "Can I park my dump trailer there?" I'm like, "Can I put stuff in it?" He's like, "Sure." I'm like, "Done." Yeah, but why, Kidder? You got some stuff you need to dispose of?
I mean, I don't have a way to collect it because I mulch.
That is true. I've been doing more bagging than I've been doing mulching. It's not like that I'm necessarily on like full bag, but I'm not over on full mulch. I tend to bag more of it. Man, people are going to be like, man, this is just two old guys sitting there drinking beer, talking about their lawns. Are they going to talk about something good?
Pull up lawn mowing simulator.
Let's not go that far, man. Save that. Save that for when you're streaming tomorrow, you know?
Well, probably not tomorrow, but
I know. I just threw that in there. Kidder, you will be excited to know that Lefty and I finished a little series called Loki. Actually, it wasn't last week, but the week before. Made it all the way through. And it was okay. I want to say I liked WandaVision more than I liked Loki. I got really kind of I got tired of the character Loki very quickly in it. And then his all of a sudden like friendship turn that he kind of had with it, just I didn't feel like that got earned, if I'm being honest. So it wasn't bad. I just cause kind of like, nah, by the end of it. It was okay. So I know you liked it.
I did. A lot better than Doctor Who.
I don't know. Depends on which Doctor Who.
Well, I mean, most of the Doctors after Matt Smith, or with Matt Smith and beyond. Peter Capaldi was pretty good, and then again the writing went to crap for Jodie Whittaker. And then the three specials with David Tennant were pretty good. And now again, it's even though it's Russell T Davies, is like I enjoy the out there stuff, but this is pandering.
Yeah.
And I don't like it.
I haven't seen any of the beyond the three specials yet. Like, I've not had time to watch that. I get very little time to watch anything. So I haven't seen any of that yet, but it doesn't surprise me because that just seems to be it just seems to be the MO. Like, there's a new Star Wars series that is dropping right now, The Acolyte. And there's a lot of stuff in there that is just, pandering's a good word, in it. And
it's not pandering to the fans. It's not pandering to the history of the series. It's not pandering to what it should be doing as a new series or continuation. It's pandering to things and politics.
Right. It's and not that we talk, you and I have consistently, we don't talk politics on this show, but I think we can agree on this, that there is this, this movement to pander to certain kind of viewpoints. And And my thing about it is that's not why I like with Star Wars. That's not why I watch Star Wars. Right? I watch Star Wars because I want pulpy space opera. Right? I want, knights in space with laser swords.
Yeah.
That's it. And I don't want politics worked in there. I don't want messages and themes in there that aren't, the closest that Star Wars ever had to that, and the closest that you could always say is that the Empire was based very much on Nazi Germany. That the stormtroopers, that was really the reference point on that was Nazi Germany. It's, even the space battles are crafted to be like World War II dogfights in space. They don't follow true like space physics in any way.
What? No.
Yeah. But again, I'm okay with that because again, it's space opera. It's pulp space opera. And I'm fine with that. And that's what I tune into it for. And I just, any sort of messaging and such and that, I always just kind of go, ugh, just no, just let me enjoy. I'm going to the movies or I watch a movie to get away from that stuff. That's why we don't talk politics on this show. If people want that, there are plenty of other sources for that. And so that's where it does bug me when it does pop up where it doesn't necessarily fit. And I've heard some of the interviews from both the creator of this series and the lead actress, and it's just, I hear the stuff they say and it's just like, this is probably the first Star Wars thing that I'm not even interested in. And it could be good, but all I'm hearing is about all the messaging and such that they're putting into it. I'm just like, I don't want that. I don't. I just want my space opera. Right? And that's, yeah. But that seems to be the trend with almost all media these days. Is it's got to have some message.
Sorry to say that there, Howard, but it happened to the Star Trek universe in 2018 with Discovery, which recently finally ended, which is terrible to say because I don't want series to end, as we've talked about before, but that was literally shoved down your throat every chance that you could get. Even in one point, having a political candidate pushed into as an actor. And everybody was ranting and raving, and I'm like, who is this person? Had to look her up. Political candidate from Georgia or something. She's the leader of the whatever this is. Whatever. I'm like, I don't care. Why? She's not an actor. She was terrible. Oh, she's so good. She was terrible. Yeah, she had 5 lines, but terrible.
It's bad. And it's, it's interesting. And I bring this up because George Lucas has said some things at the Cannes Film Festival, I believe was last week. And he kind of pushed back on some things. He pushed back. Somebody said, that Star Wars of the past was all about white men. He said, and his response was, no, there's not a lot of white men in it. It's a lot of aliens. So he also addressed addressed that in a different interview where he said that he's heard the comments that there's no strong females in Star Wars. And he goes, wait, what do you think Princess Leia was? She's the leader of the Rebel Alliance. Yes, she gets caught, but she doesn't just act as a damsel in distress. She takes, the rifle. She helps the guys escape. She's bringing this young kid and this scoundrel and turning them into heroes. She's not just a damsel in distress. She's a strong female. That's interesting. Sorry that you don't recognize that. But it's, I give Lucas credit for, standing up for his stuff. But yeah, it's getting everywhere in superheroes, in, kids cartoons, and like the second Inside Out is supposed to come out, and there's a lot of like questions about the messaging inside that, and I'm just like, it's a Pixar movie for kids. Why do we have to have messaging in it? Can't we just have a cartoon, please?
Not anymore. No.
I feel like we got on a soapbox with that. We should get off the soapbox. What else can we talk about? Gosh, there was something else I was going to mention to you.
Taxation is theft?
No. No.
I thought that was one of the things to talk
about. Listen, we did our like one slightly political rant for this like year. We better bring it back in to
all right.
Our girl. I did have something else to look at her. I was going to talk to you about, and I can't remember.
Well, you're trying to think of what it is. I got this in the mail.
Tyson Yost.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I was trying to read the name. It was a little blurry.
Yeah, it of course isn't focusing. And a second card for Tyson Yost, center. Both of these, the upper deck one is a foil of some kind. There it is. Very nice. Very nice. You can see a little bit of the shine there, and then with this one here. Very nice. And I don't remember if I ended up showing this. I'm pretty sure I did, but I had received this Tyson Yost one a few weeks back. So
yeah.
And this one's interesting because it's purposely yellow like that on the back. Don't know why, but 1819 card and got his stats there. So that was nice. Even though he doesn't play for the Avalanche. Focus.
Ow. Sorry, I saw your shirt, and I heard Kidder some of the worst commentary ever. I was down here in the cave. Lefty worked the last 2 nights. I was down here trying to clean up a little, and on my TV that's down here with Samsung Plus, you get a bunch of free channels.
That's why they're free.
Yeah. It was I had it on the TNA Impact channel.
Oh boy.
Why? I don't know. It's
wrestling.
But it was Jordan Grace, their current champion, and she was wrestling some person I never heard of from Minnesota. And the commentators were trying to talk about the fact that she was from Minnesota and like whatever references they could get. So of course they mentioned the Golden Gophers. But at one point, Kidder, the person made like a pretty good like check type of hit. And the commentators like, oh yeah, that's a big hit. Being from Minnesota, they got all that great hockey up there. Oh yeah, like the Quebec Nordiques.
Wow.
I'm like, that is wrong on so many levels.
A few 100 miles off, whatever. And of course, this championship team or the one that it turned into after leaving Quebec, would not want to be remotely associated with that garbage state.
Well, I mean, not only did that team have nothing to do with Minnesota, right? But at the time that this is airing, they have been the Colorado Avalanche for
over 25 years.
Yeah, exactly. And I'm like, you guys really suck at this. Mauro Ranallo would not have made that mistake. He would have done his research. He would have at least been able to name a Minnesota hockey team. But I just like that. Minnesota's known for its hockey, like the Quebec Nordiques. I literally stopped Kidder because I was like, what I was doing. So I'm like, wait, did I hear that right? Oh, anyway, I had to share that, but your shirt reminded me that occurred. So, yeah, terrible commentary. You know, I think you could have done better. I know you could have done better.
Really wouldn't have been that difficult. Let's be honest here.
No, well, it do it. Kidder, you talked about what you got recently. I actually got something here, and I'm gonna need that.
You need a pause while you're looking for that. I have news that Apollo 8 astronaut Bill Anders, who snapped one of the most iconic images of the space age, the mesmerizing photo of the blue and white globe of Earth rising above the moon's cratered horizon in deep space, passed away on Friday the 7th, i.e. today. No age listed on here, but he passed away in a plane crash. Dude goes all the way to the moon and dies in a plane crash on Earth. So,
well, you know, here we have gravity, and that sucks.
Yeah.
No, Kidder. I got this large box in the mail today. Very big. But I'm excited because I think this is. I think I know what's in it, and if it is, it's going to be really exciting. So I'm going to try and open this up. It is. So, Kidder, on this show, we have talked about Kickstarter failures. And I may have mentioned this one. It's one of the first Kickstarter failures I ever experienced. It was for a game called Myth. I had backed, they did a couple of expansions to it, and I backed at a level where I got the expansions and I got the base game from the first Kickstarter. I never got the base game. They put out the expansions and then the company went under. They did the classic Kickstarter bit where they were basically running Kickstarters to pay for Kickstarters that, you know, past Kickstarters that they ran. We thought it was dead. Like I backed this. I backed it back when, like, I think like shortly after we moved into the condo. So
That's
we're talking. Yeah, we're talking for anybody who maybe doesn't know. Around the, you know, like 2014, 2013 era. So anyway, it's like 10 years in the making. Anyway, Kidder, another company bought them out, and they decided that not only were they grabbing the IP, they were going to finish it. And so this, Kidder, Myth has arrived. This is the missing stuff. And unfortunately, folks, I'm not going to be able to show much of it because I don't know why the hell they did this. There are just loose miniatures in this box. So hang on for the ride as I go like this. But Kidder, there are just literally loose, baggy figures in here. So I'm not gonna pull all that out. But I hate this in the box. If I can get through all the bubble wrap, my kids will be so excited. But we got some game tiles. All of the stretch goals that we had backed and didn't get. So there's the individual kind of modules listed on there. And then that Kickstarter ran where there were different modules you could purchase that kind of were enemy packs, and that's this one has all of those. So Kidder, after I don't know, I'll future Howard will look it up. How many years I've been waiting for this? It's finally here. Finally got it. It's one of those rare occurrences where a Kickstarter fails, gets sold, and somebody actually completed it. And now I have it. So
about time you get something that you paid for.
Yeah. I thought it was a loss, actually, but that's how it goes. And I'm going to throw it in, since I'm talking a little bit about board games and such. The big news of this week, Kidder, I remember this was the other topic I was going to share. Big news of this week. Privateer Press, makers of such games as Warmachine, Hordes, Riot Quest, people who have been watching us for a while know that I do like their miniatures, and I have a lot of them that I'm painting. They announced this week, kind of out of the blue, they have sold the IP for Warmachine, Hordes, Riot Quest to Steamforged Games over in England. This is a bit of a shock. People didn't really know that Privateer Press was apparently not doing as well as we thought. They're just celebrating their 25th year of Warmachine, and they just sold their biggest IP. We don't have all the details out. There's a lot of speculation on it. From what I have seen from Steamforged, they're going to try and keep it kind of as a partnership. So the folks at Privateer Press are still going to be having a say in the development of the game. They're going to continue with 4th edition, which is what they're on. There is some talk. They've been doing a lot of resin cast models, like this objective marker. But there's talk of them switching over to hard plastic in the future for some of their kits. They'll continue doing these, but everybody's wondering what this means and what's going to happen and what product lines are going to continue, what product lines are going to stop. So it'll be interesting. But that was the big news that kind of surprised everybody who follows that world. So just to share that for the gaming news. Kidder, I have finished this coffee beer.
Good.
I'm sure you were out a while ago. That's interesting. My screen just went black.
Move the mouse.
I did that.
Oh. I feel like I should do things just to let future Howard come upon them later.
No, you shouldn't.
You don't like this.
See, this is torturous because either you are actually doing something and future Howard's going to be really upset, or you're just messing with me because I can't see anything. But I'm blind. I got nothing. My screen just completely went dark.
Maybe like this. All right. Well, what are you having to drink? Because I can still see you and everything you're doing. So let's just keep this thing going, because it's not a Triple B episode without a true blackout.
You're right. I mean, usually it's getting blackout drunk. but I guess we're just gonna have to go.
It's the only way to
Blackout screen.
survive.
So everybody, welcome to our second favorite segment of the show, and that is What's on Tap, Round 2. Drink. And Kidder, I picked this one up for myself. And I thought it was fitting with everything. This is from the Bent Paddle Brewing Company. And it is, truthfully, I don't really quite know exactly what this is because there's so many damn words on this can. But I believe it is their cold press black coffee ale. So it is a coffee ale featuring Duluth Coffee, or featuring the Duluth Coffee Company. This was craft brewed in Duluth, Minnesota. And it says on here, a local infusion of flavor, Bent Paddle Black combined with Duluth Coffee Company's cold press coffee. Smoother than campfire coffee without the mess of the grounds. So this is, and I saw it earlier, this 6% alcohol by volume. Woo! And it says here, the Lake Superior is managed through a binational agreement, much like our partnership between local crafters. Not sure why they have that on the can, but anyway, they do. Find out how we are blending or bending traditions. BentPaddleBrewing.com. So I'll put that up there. I don't know if you can see it or not because I don't have the screen.
Fuzzy, blurry, out of focus.
This
like most of the show.
Yeah, this can will also remind you to paddle responsibly. I see what they did there. Not that I see much right now. Well, this one does not smell as dark as the other one. You know, Kidder, I actually think before I try this, I should have a palate cleanser. Because, you know, I'm coming off of a coffee beer. I'm having another coffee beer. We need a slight change. Kidder, pick a number.
3.
Okay, good choice. Good choice. Let's just go with this. I know my line is usually, I need a palate cleanser. How about a shot of whiskey? I don't have a shot of whiskey down here. Here you go, local geek. There's a hint for you. It's not whiskey. Trying to help you out, man. But, you know, if you know, you know. Delicious. Delicious. I know my voice didn't match how delicious that was, but it was. Okay, now that a palate cleanser, let's give us a taste. That is not as good as the other one. This one, Kidder, is not as dark, and it's far more bitter.
Good thing it's on this show.
Mm-hmm. Oh. Yeah, that is far more bitter.
Well, Howard's dying. It's going to be a long beer.
It is going to be a long beer.
With a long drink.
Yeah. Oh, I would prefer a long drink. I'm going to hold off on rating this for just a wee bit. I'll give it another try or two. But Kidder, what are you having?
Did I actually rate the double coffee? Coffee? I don't recall.
I don't think you actually gave it a rating, if I recall.
I'm going to give it a straight up 3 because I enjoyed it. And it was 5.6% alcohol by volume. Don't know if we said that. Probably, but there it is. Yeah. So second here, I'm going to stick with our Fat Fish Brewing friends in Dickinson, located at 1031 West Villard in Dickinson, North Dakota. This one's a keep refrigerated. It's a pronghorn peach wheat malt beverage with natural flavor. This is a 5.4% alcohol by volume and has a deer with peaches on its antlers and hazy sunglasses in the wheat. Pronghorn, of course, the deer and peach and wheat. Fat fish. Keep refrigerated. I don't remember if they had a website, but it's not on the can, and so that kind of is what it is. So let's try this again and see how this one reacts. Same sort of thing, almost. Well, there's definitely a taste of peach. I'm glad that this is why you cover up your tab when you're opening the can, so then it doesn't get all over your set. Lots of fresh peach scent straight off the aroma. It's peachy and wheaty, so that's good. Right off the top, I don't know. I haven't been a huge peach flavor drink fan for a while. Solid 2 to start out with, anyway.
It's not bad.
I suppose. Could be better. Could be worse. Could be a lot worse. This actually tastes like peach, so I'll give it that. And it doesn't look like Howard looks right now.
Yeah, I'm going to give this a 2. I give it a 2. It is just bitter, and I know coffee tends to be bitter, but I like my coffee dark, and I don't know that that the coffee that they are using in it is a dark coffee, and it just I'm not enjoying this. I like this good, this not great. Kudos, Fat Fish. I much prefer that to this.
So I'm almost thinking with your rating that I need to bump this up because I definitely don't have that same reaction.
Well, I tend to rate things higher than you do.
Hey. And just like that, Howard Blues is gone. That's something. Now we wait. Just tending a bar here. Clean it up. You know what I wish that they would do? Make these wipes that didn't leave the fuzzies all over them. That would be great. And Dan?
And then I returned.
Welcome back.
Yeah, well, thanks. I don't know what happened or when I dropped off because, again, my screen was black. I can see now again, for those who don't. It's a miracle. I can see again, but it went black. And so, Kidder, I went on this whole long rant. I don't know when I dropped off. And I got done, and I'm like, ta-da! And there was nothing. And I'm like, well, clearly Kidder wasn't interested in this because I'm getting no response. And there was still nothing. I'm like, I don't even know. Kidder might have got up and walked away. Nothing. I then looked at my phone and I saw that I had dropped off. So where did I drop off, Kidder? What was the last
was
said?
About the point when you went, And truthfully, you were in mid-sentence and it just, so, yeah.
Had I started talking about what I was watching?
Nope.
Okay. So the whole long rant did not happen. Okay. Guess what, everybody? Welcome to Howard Take 2 of This Is What I've Been Watching. Kidder, I've been watching something else. It's been a while since we've had one of these, but the Geo Wizard is back up to his shenanigans, and he is once again doing a straight line mission. And for anybody who has never heard me talk about these, it's a fascination of mine. There's a YouTube channel out there, Geo Wizard. Most of the time, he's just playing a game called GeoGuessr, but every now and then he does these things called straight line missions, where he just he picks a country and he tries to walk from one side of it to the other in a perfectly straight line. And there's the whole scoring things for how much of a variation you can go off of and all of that. And it's, to me, they're fascinating to watch. He did one about 3 months ago, and I didn't talk about it because I just got around to watching it. But he did one across the Isle of Man, which is another country in the UK. And what was interesting about that one was it was the first ever straight line mission race. He got challenged by another YouTube channel. Channel's called Archie Fieldhouse. And it was a race across the Isle of Man. They started at the same time, and they had kind of the same ending destination. And I won't ruin it in case anybody wants to go out and watch it, but it was fascinating. And Kidder, I know you'll appreciate this because we've talked about this with these straight line missions. They go in a straight line, which means they have to go through every obstacle, and there's a lot of trespassing. Somebody during that race actually got caught with trespassing, and there was a threat to call the police. So,
no, they should have just done it.
I think they ended up luckily talking their way out of it. But yes, somebody did get caught. So there was that, and that was 3 months ago. Currently, right now, we're in the middle of it. It's kind of another race situation because the Geo Wizard and the guys from Archie Fieldhouse were chatting, and they both kind of stated that their next goal was to do a straight line mission across England. And the guys at Archie Fieldhouse said they were going to do it. Tom, the Geo Wizard, wanted to beat them, so he set off to try and pull it off beforehand and do it. And to give you an idea how close this is, on Archie Fieldhouse's day 1, it's Geo Wizard's day 4. We don't know if either side has made it yet. They haven't released enough videos to do so, but they're fascinating. For anybody who's never watched one of these, I highly recommend them. And it's just because it is so fascinating to me to see these people. They go to all these trouble of trying to find like the perfect line that's going to have just enough obstacles but not be impossible. I think the guys at Archie Fieldhouse said that they looked at, I think it was like 221 separate lines across England to try and find the line that they were going to run. Like 221. They've done that much. And yet the actual planning and operation, the mistakes that get made, it's just in the execution, it's just amazing. So it's a fascinating watch. It's some great storytelling, and enjoy it. But that's currently got my interest. I'm waiting for the next video from both of them to find out what happens. Good time. But yeah, I just got to share. I'll put a link down in the show notes for anybody else who wants to get in on these crazy straight line missions, because they're kind of fun. They're also kind of crazy and stupid. It's the kind of thing that you can sit there and watch and go, boy, you guys are kind of idiots, but in a fascinating way. You also get to see some beautiful scenery, because they go through a lot of places where a lot of people have not walked. You get to see some cool things. So I just wanted to share. So,
all right,
yeah.
Very good. Straight to the point for a second time.
Yeah. I think I was a little bit more eloquent the first time. I was trying to just get it in here on the second time. But you guys will never know, because we don't know. So
except for that secret camera in your basement.
probably hidden in the Pacific Rim case. Because we know I haven't opened that. I'm not gonna lie, Kidder. I know Layn doesn't watch this. I keep meaning to do it, and I just haven't. But the next time that we have like a really nasty snowstorm, I just want to film a little short, like of the snow outside, and be like, "Well, can't go out," and like actually open this up, go to put it in my Xbox to play the movie finally. And then have like my wife pop in and go, "Hey, want to play Stardew Valley?" "Oh yeah, sure, let's do that." And post it as like a thing of like Howard finally watches Pacific Rim, just to troll Layn.
Might actually see that one.
He might. He like I could see him actually like, whoa, he finally watched it. Now the thing is because I know it bugs Layn so much, like. I'm now just almost like not watching it out of spite.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well,
interesting. Speaking of people watching, had a frequent viewer talk to me about the show this week.
oh,
Yeah.
did he have some feedback?
Referenced several things from the last episode that came out. So big shout out to you, Big T.
Hey, hey, thanks for watching,
Please click the thumbs up. I know you got an account, so give us the thumbs up.
Yeah. No, it's always great to okay, so I have yet to have this where I run into somebody who has like watched the show.
Mm-hmm.
But you've had it a couple of times now, so
Yeah. Of course, I also get the, "Hey, your voice sounds familiar." What do you mean? Like, I hear your voice a lot. I don't know what you're talking about. Wait a minute. You're on the radio.
damn, you caught me. I'm Todd Mitchell.
And I don't think you'll ever see this joke.
I have on occasion accidentally tuned in when he's on the radio. He's terrible. Just gonna throw that out there. Also, he hangs around with my brother-in-law, so God, he's terrible. And that's enough. That's the last time we will talk about him on this show. Anyway, but yes, Kidder, you are recognizable.
Thanks. I think.
Yeah. Right. Well, listen, it's a voice. I still remember. I don't know if Layn ever told you this. Layn used to listen to you back on your
other terrestrial station.
Yes. Yes. He used to, because he thought it was like really interesting when I worked at Gateway to Science, and then you came to a thing, and I was like, this is my buddy Mark. You might know him as Mark Kidder. I listen to his show. I'm like, yeah, I know the guy.
And now it's just the same old fun on a different frequency. 96.5, the Walleye.
I mean, listen, I know you take and put our show on there every now and then, so or at least give the plug. So hey, that's fair. But we got to plug them back. It's how it goes.
I sure did. I called you out.
Did you? Please tell me you recorded it so I could hear it.
No.
Damn.
I could probably go back and find it. But basically just cheap plug for this show and that year. doing your thing and things.
Well, thanks for the shout out on the radio. I didn't hear it. I'm sorry.
Somebody doesn't listen to the Ride Home with Kidder.
I do listen. I just might have missed it.
If you listen, then you listen. But if you don't listen, then you didn't listen. And then
Listen, I don't know when did you do this shout out?
you say listen. I did listen.
I'm saying that I listen to your show on occasion. I'm just saying I may not have been listening the exact moment you did the shout
I listened to you not listening.
Listen, I remember the whole KJ thing where like I tried to tune in because I knew you were on for my entire commute home, and it was nothing but commercials. I didn't hear any music. I didn't hear you. It was just commercials.
Well, you probably did hear me in the commercials because that's when I was doing a lot of commercials too.
No, surprisingly, I didn't even get a Mark Kidder commercial during one of those. Yeah.
Robbed.
I know. I was like, I purposely I remember I'm like, oh, I can listen to Kidder on the way home. Let's turn that over. And it's like, I think I heard like an America's Mattress commercial. I
made that.
I know you did.
Yeah. Now you know where you can hear me every time.
Where?
On Hutch's weather update with Chief Meteorologist Hutch Johnson.
Mm-hmm.
Shout out to Hutch Johnson, Chief Meteorologist at Hutch's Weather and hutchesweather.com.
I'm not going to lie. I'm glad that I follow his Facebook page because it's a great source of information about when there are storms in the area.
Yeah.
And then usually because I don't always have time to necessarily watch his whole thing, and he sometimes jumps around a bit before you get to the part you want to hear. I turn on the KRDN weather stream just so I can see the radar.
Look at that.
Yeah.
It's right there. It's live. It's loud. Look at that. The eyewitness weather now. Bam.
Yeah. See. So like, I want to just let you know, I use both of you for my my weather information.
It's good. Also, shout out to North Dakota Storm Team. You can follow that page, and I throw updates out there too.
I actually follow it because I know you throw updates out there.
Mm-hmm.
See, listen, I know who to trust in when it comes to weather, right? It's Hutch, you, every other TV meteorologist, Big D.
Because he's a low life and he's loving it.
Listen, we haven't talked about Big D in a while. We haven't seen him in a while. I haven't heard from him in a while. I figured I'd take a cheap shot. This is the start of the guy from Indiana .2.
Indiana's not even on this map.
Oh, I know, but for those the long-term fans of the Triple B, our good friend Big D, we tried. It was like for 40 some episodes to get him because he agreed to come on. And then it took like 40 some episodes for him to actually show up. And so we used to call him out. Every episode, we would make reference to a guy from Indiana because he's originally from Indiana. And we would take these cheap shots at him until he showed up. And then we had a good run with him on the show. He's now over in Korea. And, we miss him. Then, so I'm hoping if I maybe start invoking his name, we'll get him back. That's maybe what I need to start doing, Kidder. I need to start calling out all the people who used to be on this show. I've already called out Layn, called out Big D. Who else? Who else haven't we had for a while? I call out Adam Foote. He was a good interview. Good to have him back. Yeah.
Apparently this week, got to call it Local Geek.
Yeah. Slacker. Yeah. No. Yeah. Well,
JS would have been here.
Listen, I am glad that we have Local Geek and JS and Rude Boy Kyle who they jump on when they can. I do appreciate when we get them, and I'm okay when we don't, when it's just you and I, but it's always fun when we have them on as well. Because then I don't feel so bad that I haven't had some crazy adventure to talk about. Because maybe they have. So it's always good. We got a good crew here at the Triple B.
Yeah.
So it's good. So I always tell people they're in a good place. We got good people here. Good people. Terrible beer, but good people.
Yeah. That too.
Oh,
yes.
Man, could you imagine where this show would have ended up if I wouldn't have started drinking weird beer on this show back in episode 5?
Probably a more sane location.
I mean,
not being like worried about stepping on a landmine of a nasty beer.
I mean, listen, I have drank some really terrible stuff on this show. And I will say, to all the people who are making beer, I know that it's not that you meant for it to be terrible. And not everybody's tastes align. But I have had some really terrible stuff on here. You've had some really terrible stuff on here. But it really, because like the first 4 episodes, we were just drinking normal stuff. What's on tap was kind of a know-nothing segment. It was nothing exciting. And I started on episode 5. I bought a coffee beer, which I guess is maybe why I'm thinking about it. That one was from Boulevard Brewing Company. And I bought it, and I said, I just wanted to try something different and weird on the show. And it became a thing. And it has stuck. And I will say, it is kind of cool to say that we have nearly had a beer from every country, or not every country, every state in this country. That's not something I could have said before this show.
Still missing a few.
We are. That's why I said nearly, but we're getting there. We're working on it. But that to me is a pretty cool achievement that in the 3 years we've done this show, we've nearly had a beer from every state. It's pretty cool. And some from other countries. We have had some of that on here. And some things that nobody should ever drink, like juice. or Four Loko. Or Malort.
Yeah. By the way, it's still in my fridge upstairs.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Got some weeds you need to kill?
Wonder if it would take care of... Nah, never mind.
You know what I want now? I want us to find some, we gotta get some friends who are professional bartenders. Local Geek, you might have to help us with this. And give them the challenge. This could be it, kidder. This could be a new thing. A new Triple B challenge. You have to make the best cocktail you can, but it has to contain Malort. So you have to try and mix the best Malort cocktail. I think that could be an interesting challenge. You have to try and make it palatable.
Just sounds disgusting.
Listen, here's the best part about this, kidder. We bring in Rude Boy Kyle. We get him to come up here, so that he can judge. Because we know that he can no-sell Malort. maybe Local Geek's friend, Big Bada Boom, we get him as well. See, we got 2. We got 2 people who can already tolerate Malort to be judges. We don't have to drink it. We don't have to drink it, kidder. We just get the content. I don't know. I'll throw that out there. And on that probably crazy, probably terrible idea, kidder, we've been talking for quite a while, and I got to do a bunch of yard work tomorrow. It's probably time we wrap this show up with some cheap plugs.
All right. Well, first thing, like us on Facebook. Second thing, like us and follow us on Instagram. Third thing, share our posts, please. Send it here, send it there, send it everywhere. We'd appreciate it. Local Geek has been picking up his game on that, too. So thank you, Local Geek. It's a shout out straight to you. Okay. On top of that, beerbluesbs.com. Beerbluesbs.com. Please go to our website. It's got our links to the audio versions. Our podcasts are right there. And a link to our video version on YouTube. Obviously, if you're listening to us, visit the video version on YouTube. If you're watching this, please like our audio versions on platforms such as Pandora, iHeartRadio, Stitcher, TuneIn, IMDb, Player FM, Amazon Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts, YouTube Podcasts, and everything in between. If you have a podcast choice service that you love, search Beer, Blues, and BS. Even if you're already watching or listening to this, help us get your numbers up on the other platforms as well. You have services that you listen to things on, help us help you. Beer Blues BS. Search for it. Beer Blues and BS. Appreciate you ahead of time. Also, if you could click the thumbs up, click the share button, those sorts of things would help us get to different places and people that we never would have dreamt of reaching before. And it would be great if you would do that. And Howard basically is getting ready to throw his pencil or whatever the hell it is. Paintbrush. All right. You know, he's practically painting away out of this episode.
Yeah, you know, just hanging out. I get fidgety. I get really fidgety.
Fidgety.
I've been playing with this brush. I've been playing with this biscuit eraser. I just, I get fidgety, man.
You know what we really need? Chedder Bay biscuits. That's what we need.
You know, I could go for a Chedder Bay biscuit right now.
See what I'm saying? Cheesy, garlicky, toasted, gooey.
I mean, that would be the perfect thing to take the taste of this out of my mouth. That just, yeah.
Eat a handful of them, you'd forget that you even had that nasty beer.
Right. Listen, I'm sold. I'm sold. That actually sounds really tasty right now.
Obviously, I shared the photo from Roger at Red Lobster, correct?
Correct. Yeah. Correct.
It's on the show. Talked about it. That, my friend, is some Chedder Bay biscuit action.
I'm not going to lie. Looking at that photo, and I'll put it up again here in case you missed last week's episode. That looked like Kidder like a drug deal kind of bag because it was just like round plastic bag with a bunch of biscuits just randomly thrown in. Like,
I mean,
you know,
that's kind of how it went down. Hey, can I get a bag of biscuits for to go? Yeah, I got you. Came out with the to-go bag where you normally put your to-go containers like for 3 or 4 or 5 meals stacked up, and instead it was the entire oven's worth of biscuits.
Yeah, but it wasn't like neatly placed or like, you know, in a container. Like it was just like they threw them in there.
Roger hooked me up. He just there you go.
You can't be mad at it. You just can't. It was just it made me laugh, man. It was a good chuckle.
I was laughing in the restaurant when he dropped it off. I'm like, what the hell is this? Where's oh my God, it's a bag of biscuits. Like, this is the first time in my life where I've been given a bag of biscuits. What am I going to do with a bag of biscuits? There's like 52 biscuits in this bag. Maybe it was like 38. I don't know. I didn't count them. I just took a picture because this is content right here.
Yeah, I mean, I saw it. I chuckled. I haven't edited that episode, but I was going back for the episode that came out this week to find some photos, and I saw it, and I'm like, oh yeah, it's just a bag of biscuits.
Some bitch grease from the biscuits was coming out the bottom of the bag. I'm like, I gotta get these somewhere. So, yeah, Roger, that's the guy that you need to see. If you are going to Red Lobster in Bismarck, if you see this, Red Lobster, please stick around. That's like my place. And Outback, but we don't have an Outback here. So, Red Lobster, you got to stay with us.
I can't even remember the last time I've eaten at a Red Lobster.
Probably in Grand Forks when we had Endless Shrimp.
No, Lefty and I went once, like in
So you can remember.
Well, no, I just know I know like we went once when we lived out in Montana, but that's the last time I remember going to Red Lobster. Maybe we went once when we came back for like your birthday. I seem to remember a time going to your birthday. Lefty was with me. Funny guy was there. Your grandma was there. So I want to say that happened.
Definitely possible.
I mean, it's very plausible. But
I've been to this Red Lobster many times.
I mean, you're like the norm of this Red Lobster, Kidder.
Kind
like,
of.
You walk in the door and they just go, Kidder, you know.
That would be really cool. Okay, so one person does that, and it's Roger. Because he's a Knights fan. He's a Golden Knights fan. I'm not holding it against him. Okay, he's got his own issues. So he's a Knights fan. Like, what are you gonna do? And then he loves seeing us because, you know, Avs fan, Nordiques fan. He's like, you guys. So that makes me want to go back. It's a good time. Plus, he is great service, and he's funny.
Yeah. Not that I know him. I'm just very agreeable right now.
So, Howard, here's a joke from Roger.
Lay it on me.
How did the Romans cut their pizza?
How?
With Little Caesars.
That's a good one.
Says he thinks of that every time somebody orders a Caesar salad. I'm like, man, it must be a long day for you every damn day, because that's just running rent free.
Yeah, that would get long. Oof. Yeah, because like the Caesar salad is pretty good. I think it's pretty popular.
It's very good there, Red Lobster. You know what else is really good? Chedder Bay biscuits.
I mean, listen, man, you're making me hungry. It's like 11 o'clock at night.
Yeah. and their kitchen's probably closed now, so we can't even get the Chedder Bay biscuits. We might have to go to a store that's open maybe 24 hours and get the biscuit mix, but that's not as good. So, like, we got to fail. Maybe we need to go to Red Lobster one of these days.
I mean, maybe, possibly. Yeah. Well, you know, I'll say this because she doesn't watch. So, Kidder, coming up, end of July, beginning of August. I think it's mostly at the end of July. Lefty is going to be going with the kids out to the family cabin. Good sir.
I need to go.
I would be free. We could go.
That would be phenomenal.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And it better not be the week beginning, etc., that I'm going to live long and prosper.
I think it's, as I said, I think it's end of July. I will, when I know the date, Kidder, I will let you know. And she's going like a Sunday through. They're going to leave Sunday, come back Wednesday. She's sort of got that planned. So we'll just find the night,
pencil it in.
I can join you at Red Lobster. You know what? Let's make a fun plan out of this. Hit Red Lobster. I have never been to Thomas and Moriarty's.
Woo!
So Red Lobster
might have to be a Wednesday.
Well, they come back Wednesday. So Sunday, Monday, or Tuesday.
All right.
But then maybe like pay that a visit. I mean, I will be the driving myself, so can't go hog wild, but I could at least try a drink.
Yes, you can. Bareface old fashioned it is.
Sounds good. I've never had barefaced whiskey. I'm looking forward to it. See? Something interesting coming up. And you know what? If you want to ever see, because, hey, we like to create content where we can, there might be video of Howard and Kidder on this wild adventure. So pay attention. End of July. Something could come up. Might be a short, might be a reel. The only way that you're going to find out, gotta, either subscribe to the YouTube channel or follow us on Facebook. Yeah.
Both. I mean, that'd be cool too.
Hey, I mean, it is worth both because, as I've mentioned, Kidder, because it came out last night, we had I had to put up as a YouTube short. Facebook censored one of our reels. So I had to share it to Facebook so the only way that you can guarantee you will get all of the Triple B content is to join or to at least follow us on both of those platforms. So there. And with that, Kidder, I don't know that we can come up with a better final thought than Chedder Bay Biscuits and a possible Howard Kidder meetup. So I think it's time that we wrap this thing up. Put the little bow, say those last little lines, bring this show home.
Well, those are good final thoughts. Chedder Bay Biscuits for the win. Red Lobster, live on forever. So, keep your glass at least half full. There's free beer tomorrow, and we will catch you on down the skiff on the Chedder Bay Biscuit paved Tuscan Highway. Woo! Have a great night, day, week, everything in between. Have a good one. We'll see you on the next episode of Beer, Blues, and BS.
You have been listening to a UA production of Beer, Blues, and BS. If you enjoyed the show, help others find out about it by rating the show or leaving a review at your podcast listening service of choice. Thanks for listening, and may your glass never be empty. UA Productions presents A Glimpse Behind the Curtain.
This was a good episode. This was a good episode.
Worth it.
I mean, there's stuff. We didn't get to these, by the way.
Yeah.
So next week, we should do this. We should get these eaten up.
Yep.
So next week, and I also thought I'd make a big point out of it because we used up a lot of really good material for Behind the Curtain in that special little one-off episode. So
yeah,
I needed something. So hey, here's your Behind the Curtain. Next week, cocktail jelly beans. Are they good? We'll find out. It's tease. Better be back. Come back next week. Come back. chili beans next week. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.